Welcome to Feng Shui Living, the podcast designed for busy women who want to de-stress, live with intention, and create a home that truly supports their well-being. Each week, I'll bring you practical tips, insightful ideas, and simple strategies to enhance both your home and your life. Let's get started. Quick pause before we jump in. If you love this podcast, you will love my book, Aligned at Home. Think of it as your design and energy guidebook to creating a space that supports your well-being and your goals. You can get a signed copy over on my website, purelivingwithlisamorton.com, or snag it on Amazon or wherever you buy books. I hope you enjoy it. Hello and welcome to Feng Shui Living podcast. Today we're doing part 2 of this 2025 year review and looking into 2026. Last week, if you missed last week's episode, you need to go listen because it was so fun. We wrapped up everything in the podcast, in my work. We talked about the book, new things that came to fruition. We also talked about the year of numerology ending 2025 was a 9 year and getting through that and everything that brought. We also talked about the wood snake, which, holy cow, after we talked about it, I keep thinking all these things that I released and let go of, and maybe I didn't want to let go of, but it was interesting. And oh my gosh, today we're going to move forward. We're going to look at 2026. And I have joining me yet again, Maggie Kitch, my dear friend. I don't like using the word assistant, but I don't know what else. You just are an amazing supporter of my business, and you're fun to talk to, and you have tons of knowledge and information. So welcome back, Maggie.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
So we talked about all the stuff, and now I thought we'd share a bit about what you can expect coming from me in 2026. Next up for the podcast, I have some interesting guests scheduled, talking about a few different things. I took a break from some guests, but we're going to get back in, have a few more this year. Also going to get into wellness and ways to support your body, ways to feel better. And then also I'm going to do a special series on working from home. This is equal parts feng shui, ergonomics, mindset. I'm really excited for this series. I've been doing all these notes and preparing, and there are so many people that work from home, even part-time. I mean, I've worked from home for like 15 plus years. Maggie, you've worked from home for a while. Beyond, even when you had your yoga studio, you had to, work and do all the stuff. Funny little note, that's actually how I met Maggie. We had moved to Indiana, where we live now, and she had a yoga studio here, and I taught yoga at her studio. And I walked in this place. I was a new gal in town, knew no one, and she was so friendly to me and welcoming. And I'm like, she's fantastic, and I love yoga. This is magnificent. And we've just stayed friends for so long.
I knew we were going to stay friends from that moment that you walked in the studio. I just felt it. You felt like sunshine. You still do.
Oh, that's sweet. But isn't it funny how we you live in Florida now, like my business, my work has shifted. I'm no longer teaching yoga really. You're doing the occasional class, but Maggie does astrology. She supports my business. She supports other people. She's also a fantastic massage therapist. So if you are in Naples, oh my gosh, she is a talent. Let me tell you, so good.
Thank you.
So we've come a long way, and how fun that we're here now.
It's a dream, a literal dream.
Well, next up that Maggie is going to help me with is creating a workbook. What I've always said is anything you've listened to, you've read, you've looked at, a printable, downloadable guide, she's had her hand in making it look beautiful. I can come up with these ideas, but then I'm like, how do we do this? How do we set up a sign-up sheet? I don't know. And she does all the magical tricks. So doing a workbook to accompany Aligned at Home.
It's going to be so fun.
We just have to get it done. It'll be fantastic. The workbook. And then also next on my list is recording the audio book.
Mm.
I'm a little nervous. I'm really excited because I love audiobooks. I mean, I love a book in my hand, but on a car trip, there's nothing better than a good audiobook.
Mm.
But yeah, I think that's a big thing to take on. So it'll be interesting. So that's next in 2026. I actually have a call scheduled with, I hired this really amazing, I had for my book, I had my editor, my writing coach, and then my editor and writing coach were the same woman. And then I hired a husband and wife team who do all the marketing, who do all the graphic stuff, design, the interior design, the cover, everything. And they're like all the knowledgeable people. So, and teach you all the things about a book that you don't even know you need to do or know how to do. So I have a call with them about doing the audiobook. So that's on the book. So it's coming. It's coming soon.
Oh my goodness.
Something else fun that I'm going to start doing in January are Instagram lives. If you follow the podcast, if you can go find me on Instagram at Feng Shui Living Podcast. But if you go to my personal page at Pure Living with Lisa Morton, go follow me there. And that is where I'm going to be doing the lives. And this is going to be a live of, we'll call it book club. Maybe I don't have a right name for it, but it's going to be book club. We're going to go through Aligned at Home. Chapter by chapter, you can ask questions. We can go deep into specific topics. And yeah, we're going to just do all things with the book. It's going to be really fun. So at 12 noon Eastern, if this is your lunch break, grab your Sammy and your drink and we'll hang out and talk books.
I got to read your book when you sent it to me as a beta copy, and then I think I read like 3/4 of it then, and then I have been rereading the tangible copy, and I just want to say that it's one of those books that you'll want to read again because at different times of your life, different things will stand out, and it will I just think it's going to be a powerful resource for a long time.
Oh, I love that.
Mm-hmm.
I know those books that really speak to me. I talk about in the beginning of the book, I share about The Big Leap.
Mm-hmm.
I've read that book. Every time I come up to a big moment in my life, I reread that book or I listen to the audiobook. I've read the book a couple times. I've listened to the audiobook a couple times. I could probably recite it. But there are a few of those, and it's so nice. You can go back, but yet every time it's a little bit different, a little different message.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice. What else? I have some new freebies. Make sure you're signed up for my newsletter, my weekly newsletter every Wednesday. It's short and sweet. We get to the point, links to the podcast. There might be a free download. We're also going to start doing some more product recommendations because we talk about a lot of different things in the podcast, in the newsletter, and I'm going to have links for you, hopefully get some discount codes and things for you guys. So everything from my favorite Himalayan salt lamp to my favorite grounding sheets, or gosh, Maggie is so knowledgeable about health and well-being. So maybe you'll have some interesting thing to share with us.
I'd love to.
Nice. Okay, so we talked about that, and let's talk about numerology. So in last episode, we talked about being in a 9. We talked about cycles, right? There's just constant cycles, seasons, elements, numbers. Everything is a cycle. We have to remember that.
Mm.
And we completed a cycle in 2025 with a 9 year. Now we're moving into a 1. What is 1? 1 is new beginnings, fresh starts. Right? Taking that first step into that new territory and be like, ooh, what are we going to have here? How do you feel about that, Maggie?
Feels a little bit daunting, but even more exciting just because it feels like a clean slate, like a new month, like a new year where just infinite possibilities are available.
Mm-hmm. Available. I think that's a key thing because I keep saying, it's all over social media. Everybody's talking about moving into a 1 year and the clouds are going to part and the angels are going to sing and everything you ever dreamt of is going to come to fruition. I'm like, okay, let's rein it down. It's setting the stage, but you also have to take the step. to stand in the spotlight, to step to read the script. You have to do your part, right? It's not just going to be like snap your fingers and you win the lottery.
Yeah.
I think it's important to keep in mind.
Yeah. It's hard because like all that marketing, we talked about that a little bit, just the spiritual marketing especially, or all of that kind of woo stuff on social media can be really like luring. It just like draws you in. And I think it's,
We
yeah.
recently had a conversation about everyone keeps sharing about these moons that we're having, and it's getting a little blown, in my opinion, maybe a little blown out of proportion.
I can relate to that. It like you kind of get exhausted after a while and you're like, okay, it's just, yeah, I don't want to be a Debbie Downer, but I think it's important to just be curious and like what were people celebrating if this is the case, like, is this real or is this just a really lovely marketing scheme?
Yes. 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 Oh boy. Okay. Well, let's also talk about the Chinese Zodiac. So on February 17th, begins the Chinese New Year celebration, and following the Chinese Zodiac, moving into, ready, the fire horse.
Oof.
We moved from the wood snake, because cycles. We were going through the elements. We're going through the Chinese Zodiac of animals. So we're moving into the fire horse. Fire, right? It's very young in energy. It's very high energy. It's like active. I always say Chuck E. Cheese, a casino. Those are fiery. So that energy partnered with a horse, right? It's all about courage and confidence and freedom and momentum and action, taking that action. Like I can just like visualize this wild horse running across like a mountainside,
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a really interesting energy to move into. I think it provides a lot of possibility. There's so much possibility, but again, you have to do your part. Just my 2 cents.
I think that's important.
Okay, before we move into the astrological forecast preview for 2026, P.S. if you guys want to like work with Maggie, her info is in the show notes. Also, you can go listen to her podcast where she is a co-host of Celestial Curiosities. Say that 3 times fast. Celestial Curiosities. It's a really fun, interesting podcast. And they break down astrology. You're not really well versed in astrology or just know nothing about it, you're still going to gain a lot because it's really great.
Thank you.
Like best analogies, and it's just like, oh, that makes sense. Anyway, did I miss anything as far as what we're scheming together?
I don't think so. We did the numerology. We did things we're excited for. Yeah.
Okay.
I think that's
all right.
everything.
We may also possibly ask Maggie to come and join the VIP podcast episode, the VIP subscriber episodes, and do a little more astrology in there. The VIP episodes, you can sign up over on my website. You can message me and I'll send you a link to sign up. It's $5 a month and cancel at any time. You just get a deeper dive into some episodes. So we're also going to work on that, which will be fun. Let's dive into astrology for 2026. I'm so excited.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So just like we can see themes in the astrology just on what you've described already. The number 1 being a new beginning, a fresh start, and the fire horse. Like we have some substantial shifts into fire signs and air signs. Specifically Uranus, Neptune, and Saturn. Let's see. Neptune and Saturn are both moving into Aries, which is a fire sign. It's the first sign of the zodiac, so there's strong 1 energy within that. And then Uranus is moving into Gemini, which is air. And if you put air and fire together, you get this big like explosion of energy. And I don't mean that in a scary way. That's how those elements interact with one another. Um, we got into a little bit of Saturn and Neptune in the last episode, so
And all
you
the
can go back.
water everywhere.
All the water, all the water. So now we're going to change gears a little bit and we're going to focus more on fire. And fire, the element, is connected to action and energy and instinct, like all of those things that kind of spur you, that motivate you, that you feel passionate about. The astrologer Chani, I don't know if you've heard of her. She has big social media and like different books and things. Chani Nicholas said it really well. Like this year, this little series of years actually is going to be for us to harness the heat of our passions to create something that lasts. So let's say that again. Harness the heat of your passions to create something that lasts. And I think that's just, if I could break it down into one little tiny bite-sized nugget, that's what I think it would be. With Saturn, as we talked in the last episode, that is all about responsibility. So if in the last series, this last 2 years or whatever, it's our responsibility has been towards our internal waters, our emotions, our intuition, like the boundaries that separate us from everyone and everything outside. Now our responsibility is going to be more aimed towards fire, towards action, towards motivation, towards just taking steps, taking responsibility for the things that matter to you. If you think about like perks and pitfalls, like how that could go really good and how it could go really not good, that full spectrum is going to be really important for us to be familiar with, so we can identify if we get too far to one side or the other, and then kind of, if with that awareness we can move back towards neutral. So if you think about what this energy could be, like an immature, because this is like a 0 and a 1 degree of Aries. This is baby steps. This is like the very beginning. When you start something new, it's like you're infantile in that thing. So we are going to have some infantile kind of energy. And when we have infantile fire, to me, that can look like a lot of like temper tantrums and outbursts and like wanting people to be our superheroes and like standing here and pointing our fingers and like, you need to save me. And no, that doesn't work that way. Like, I feel like there's a danger of false crusades. I feel like there's just this like lack of maturity when it comes to our motivation. And when we get there, when we do that, like it's easy for us to burn bridges with people. Mm-hmm. It's easy for us to burn things down if we get, yeah. So our leadership is often tested. Action without maturity kind of lacks foundation, you know? So with all of the fire and the air and how those two elements go together to create this bigger kind of explosion, I think it's going to, like, self-awareness is going to be more important than ever. So we're not just acting on our internal fire. Yeah, it's important to be motivated. It's important to have some drive and some ambition and some willingness to like just burn into the direction that you want to, but also at what cost? You know, are you ruining relationships because of it? Are you like leaving things just in shambles behind you? How we spend the next 2.5 years, especially with Saturn in this sign of Aries, I think it's going to, like, systems built now will set the tone for decades. So if we're moving immaturely, if we're operating in a way that's not sustainable, like, we just have to be aware of that so we can choose, maybe I don't want to burn all these bridges. Maybe I just can go around the pond and then no bridges have to get burned. Let me see. So I thought of some different ways. We saw a lot of water related things, flooding and bridges being struck by ships and submarines, all that stuff. We saw a lot of that while Saturn was in Pisces, and just some different ways that I thought maybe this could show up. Would be like a restructuring of self-identity, when that like on a small level, but also kind of as a populace, as a population. Aries is all about the self and your physicality, your personal power, your identity as an individual. And with Saturn there, we're just asked to kind of sort that out. What is your individual identity? Where does your power come from? Are you sourcing it all to other people outside of you? Are you able to draw it from within you and
This
build
could
it
be
up?
good journaling. Yeah?
There's
Do you have a journal prompt for this at all?
I should there
Ooh.
yeah, I feel like there's a couple journal prompts in there.
Maybe we'll have to add some journal prompts to the newsletter.
Okay,
Okay.
we
Yeah.
can do
Make sure you sign up for the weekly newsletter where you get all the bonuses as well as a little information and the links to every podcast episode. Newsletters go out Wednesday morning, so make sure you sign up. So we'll work on some prompts for you.
I love that. I'm gonna make a note.
I love a
uh,
journal prompt.
So Aries kind of has a need for speed also. It's a fire sign. It is the first sign of the zodiac. So it's the sign that kicks off spring. And I always say, like, there is absolutely nothing you can do to stop spring from coming. You can't pray about it. You can't dig your heels in. You can't beg the trees. Like, spring is just going to come. And that energy is like, that's very Aries. If you know someone that was born during this time, there's probably a little part of them that operates that way, that is just like tearing through, just, like unstoppable. It's this big force of nature, I guess, is how I would use that. So, Aries' need for speed and Saturn's need for thoroughness can clash sometimes. So as we go through this window of time, which it will be in Aries until 2028, we are going to have opportunities to find that middle ground where maybe there's a side of you that really wants to power through, to push forward, to start the new thing. But then there's this side of you that's in conflict with that. That's like, hey, we didn't measure this all out yet. We didn't like put foresight into these steps. Aries likes to act and then think, and that doesn't agree
Wow.
with Saturn's energy very well.
That's
So,
interesting.
yes. So Nikki Lanigan actually had me on her podcast and we talked a little bit more in depth. So if you're liking this conversation and you want
We'll
more,
put a link in the show notes to that podcast too. Nikki's
yes,
awesome. Fit, fun, and frazzled. Super fun gal.
yes.
Great interviews. Yeah.
Yeah. So we just zero in on this a little bit more. And like, I almost think of like adolescent energy, where we've got that infantile, that new energy of both of these big planets being in the very early degrees of the sign of Aries, self, like physicality. So it can feel a little bit like, how uncomfortable it was to be a teenager? Like, just like,
Yes,
I
I
don't
do.
know. Yes, I don't know who I am. I don't know what I'm doing. I
I
don't know
had
where I'm going.
glasses and frizzy hair and braces and
Same.
awkward as ever.
Same. So I imagine that this next 2.5 years will feel just a little bit like that.
Lovely,
Uncertain. I
lovely,
know.
Maggie.
I
Lovely.
know. But that's such a noticeable feeling, to have that kind of uncertainty. So I think that can be like a GPS marker, that when you notice yourself feeling a little bit like a teenager, a little bit like uncertain, unclear, and you're like, oh, this is Saturn. This is my identity being restructured. This is okay. This
We're
isn't
not
a
going
threat.
back. We're experiencing that as adults.
Yes, yes, yes. Yeah. And it's really exciting if you become aware of that in that moment. Maybe you'll make a different decision than you would have made if you were just kind of blindly operating. So I think that this time is, it's, we have to figure out how to focus on ourselves in a balanced way. So we're not just constantly thinking about me and this is my life and my stuff and da 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 da. It's about learning to do both sides of that. Learning, because how you interact with others, like, and how you interact with yourself is similar. It touches
Mhm.
each other.
Mhm.
One influences the other. So this could just be a really beautiful window to solidify some of who you are. So maybe you can show up in the world in a way that is more reflective of like what you want to be. So
I love it. Yes, ma'am. Fantastic.
there's let me see. I think with all of this paired with Neptune, which we'll talk about next, this structure and order and self identity paired with that kind of dreamy, imaginary Neptune can be confused or over idealized justifications for things. So that can, oh, I just had it and it fell out of my brain. Um,
Don't you love that?
it's the worst. I think with that, it's back to that concept or that idea of being infantile or immature and just recognizing if you have a temper tantrum, that's okay. Like now you see it and now you can choose something different, or you can choose to put yourself in timeout for a minute and be like, okay, yeah, wow, I'm overwhelmed, or wow, I'm hungry and I shouldn't have spoken that way to
I'm
you.
angry.
Yeah. Yeah.
Although my husband's like, it's not okay just because you have a word for it.
That's solid. Solid, Don.
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
I'm sorry. All of that. That's going to be good opportunities just to practice. Like, okay, I know I might feel like a child right now. I'm actually an adult. So, how would I handle this if I was an adult? And just pause for a minute. And then that kind of goes back to what Chani said about harnessing the heat of your passion to create something that lasts. Like, anger isn't bad, passion isn't bad, that kind of like fiery energy isn't bad. It's just when we use it like a blowtorch to hurt other people that's when it becomes a little bit more problematic. So
Mhm.
I think learning to dance with that, learning to, I feel like I'm using all the same words again.
No, but it's
It's just
great.
a nice balance. What would you suggest to someone that was in a kind of a temper tantrumy state? How what would be a couple little quick fixes that you would recommend from either colors or textures, elements?
Well, I'd stay away from the fire element because you don't need any more of that.
Yeah.
I'd take a step away from the wood element. I would put something on my body that feels grounding and centering earth element, or a water, like a little fluidity, like just find a little softness, right? It doesn't have
Mm,
to be, you can still move and flow, and your life can still flow when it's fluid and water like versus, like you mentioned, blowtorch. Maybe find that
oh,
little more gentle approach. That could be putting things in your surroundings or putting it near your body.
mm, mm. I love that. So just knowing that Aries wants to act before it thinks, we can have compassion for ourselves. We can understand I have a responsibility to figure this out, this part of me. And then it also offers us, like, if you're in a situation where someone else is acting before they're thinking, you can have a little bit of compassion. And that doesn't mean tolerate abuse. It doesn't mean tolerate disrespect. It just means that you're like, okay, I think I might see what's going on here. Like
Mm-hmm.
you're acting before you're thinking, and I don't like that.
Mm-hmm.
Or however you choose to have that conversation.
That's
So
good.
oh, I think it's going to be, I feel like it feels faster. And I feel like with this, we're moving away from water and earth, which is a little bit slower. It's kind of like mud when you blend those two things. It's like more stable and clunky. This is more like, whew, like big.
Blowtorch? I keep going to that blowtorch analogy.
That's how I keep seeing it in my mind too.
So I
So,
think we're going to have to really find time to slow down and ground. We talked about in the last episode having our bag of non-techie items.
yes.
Um,
Yeah.
things like that to help us slow down so it doesn't feel like we're living in a blowtorch world. A blowtorch in a tornado and like I don't know. Yes. So
Some,
implement those things. This could be a great thing to think about if you're doing a yearly vision board.
mm,
How do you want to slow down? How do you want to get grounded? How do you want to reset? Maybe that's meditation. Maybe that's prayer. Maybe that's going on a walk every day. what you want to do. So start thinking about that. Another great journal prompt.
Yes. Oh my gosh. We could just use these journal prompts for the whole year. I feel like we've got 10 already.
Good ones, yeah.
So not only do we have that responsible, dutiful, orderly Saturn moving into Aries, we also have Neptune moving into Aries. And Neptune moves a lot more slowly. So the last time that Neptune was in Aries, we did have like a little window last year when it had just went into Aries briefly and then it retrograded out. Now it's going back in. The last time for real that it was in Aries was 1875. It was
Wow.
1861 to 1875. So just if you think about for a minute, no one has been alive when this energy is beaming down from the cosmos at us. Like, I mean, our
Goodness.
ancestors were, but I don't know anyone that was alive between 1861 and 1875 personally. So
No.
I just think that's wild. So this is all very new. It's new in that, like that, but then also that it's in the very beginning degrees. So it's just kind of this unfamiliar territory. And I think it's so important to remember that our brain, our physiology responds to unpredictability with like being in fight or flight mode. So if you're
Mhm.
in a new environment, a new situation, if something is unfamiliar, unpredictable, your brain views it like a problem that needs to be solved. Like we don't know what's around the corner.
How
Like
do I
this,
make myself safe?
yes, yes, and purely just from a physiology standpoint. So if you find yourself feeling frazzled and like, oh my God, I don't recognize anything, even though I'm looking at all the same stuff that I've been
Mhm.
looking at, just talk yourself off the ledge. Remember that this is very new energy. Your even your mom wasn't alive during this energy the last time.
I
Um,
can't help but feel like maybe it would be great to look around your environment and just take a moment to reassess. Maybe you swap out this year or for a little while the red throw pillows with something more grounding. A
yeah.
textural, yeah, bright pink, purple, something so fiery is going to keep you in that element. So maybe help your body feel supported with maybe some watery colors or
Mm,
some chocolate brown, big chunky or beige camel colored throw that you can throw on your shoulders at the end of the
yeah.
day. I
That
think
would
it's a
be
really good
proactive.
time. Also, there's been so much talk about the color of the year from Pantone being white. I don't,
Oh,
it's, I can't remember the name, like white cloud or something. And we all have to remember these colors of the year, it's just a marketing thing, right? There's no like, if somebody just chose it and said, we're going to have fun with white this year. But I can't help but feel like maybe white is meant to support us.
mm.
Maybe it's going to
Ooh,
be a great little, because also Sherwin-Williams came out as their color is khaki, which is kind of
interesting.
boring too,
It's
right?
like transmuting almost. It's just like smoothing out the edges.
Smoothing out, but also in my world, white connects to a metal element. So it's like precision and focus. So we're not the blowtorch. We're like precisely being gentle, being careful, watching what we're doing, being aware.
Mm,
And then the khaki's great to bring in that earth element.
yeah,
Just a
that's
thought.
so really interesting. Because it's not bad. Like if you can channel your blowtorch into the path that you want to be moving in, that can be really, really useful. You know, you can make a lot of progress, cover a lot of ground. It's when we're not aware and we're just pointing our blowtorch at everyone around us that's when it becomes like undesirable or harmful, I guess.
Mhm.
Um, so I just think the intention is going to be everything, as it always
Intention and
is.
self awareness.
Yes. Yeah.
Like check yourself before you leave in the morning. Like just do a moment, take a breath, get
Mm,
grounded,
yeah.
have your
Maybe.
tools in your toolkit, right? Whether that's aromatherapy or a
Mm,
crystal in your pocket or whatever.
maybe you don't buy any more red clothes this year.
There you go.
Let's just focus on colors. So some other ways. This will be Neptune will be in Aries from 2026 until 2038, and
Wow.
that's a long time. So it's not going to feel like this every single day. It's when we get to 2028 and we're looking back over this window of time that it'll just be easier to see all of these themes coming forth with compared to, let's see, I made a little like side by side. So with Neptune in Pisces, which again, it's where it's been since 2012, we feel people's pain. And then with it in Aries, it's this, I feel your pain and I'm going to do something about it. So just
That's the
contrast.
fire.
Yes, when
Okay.
Neptune was in Pisces, it was we're all connected. And then with Neptune in Aries, it's going to be stand your ground. Like figure out how to stand your ground. Or with it in Pisces, it was protect the vulnerable. And now it's going to be fight for truth. Like it's just a little bit more action oriented. Um, the compassion stops being so absorptive and it starts being more initiatory. So feeling something for someone and wanting to do something about it versus just kind of being consumed by it. It's hard. Maybe it's just because I'm a water sign, but like I feel like it's easy to get consumed by everything that's around me. Justification of aggression in the name of righteousness or in the name of the ideal. I think it's important that we just stay on top of that. Just look at yourself, examine your own self, examine if you put a lot of faith in leaders, make sure that those leaders are not just justifying aggression in the name of the ideal. Like sometimes that's not the best plan, you know. Spiritual language and spiritual frameworks can be used to defend or deflect or force things to happen. So this is where we get into some of that marketing, using some of
Mm.
people's like beliefs, their faith, their spirituality in a way to like manipulate them or to kind of coerce large groups of people into thinking certain ways. I hope that's not too convoluted.
No, I think that's really interesting. My mind is like thinking.
I think that with this, belief feeds into ignition. And before, when Neptune was in Pisces, belief fed into just like more feeling, kind of like basking in that thing. But now,
Crying about it versus taking
yes,
action.
and blame too. Like there was a lot of the
Mhm.
blame game where they're like pointing, like you did this, and it's no, like what they might have, but it's your responsibility to live in a way that isn't like that, or however you want to say that. Belief can become combustible with Neptune and Aries. So this we just have to practice self-awareness. We have to find self-discipline, and allow ourselves to restructure our identity so we're not just being like someone isn't just blowing air into our fire to get us to inflame about certain things or
Mm.
not inflame about different things. And then there can be Aries is the sign of leaders and warriors. So with Neptune and Aries, there can be confusion around leadership and just presenting themselves one way. And then actually, there's a little bit of deception, a little bit of smoke and mirrors, a little bit of like, it's just good marketing, I guess, would be how I want everyone to be mindful. And this isn't about being scared. It's not about protecting ourselves or anything. It's really just about getting stronger in who we are. Because if we're really strong in who we are, then it doesn't matter what anyone does outside of us. We will be able to discern it. We'll be able to like hold our ground or fight for what we believe in, or any of those things. I think too, there will likely just be leaders are more likely to be positioned as saviors, and like
Mm.
we really have to be
Open our
careful about
eyes.
that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I don't think there's any leader that could be a savior. I think that we really like we're the only ones that can save ourselves. And it would be nice if a politician would. It would be nice if a leader would step in and do the job. But if you're starting to see people being presented as a savior, that would be a really good reminder for you to be like, huh, this is a bit of a red flag. Like, I need to
Mhm.
sit and think about this for a minute. And that leads to rhetoric around like evil and good, and we get into this weird
Mm,
territory. So,
wow.
whew, yeah. That was kind of a
That
lot.
was a lot, but okay. So if you had to give us one or two tips for moving, I say stay grounded, right?
Mm.
Feels right. What else? Like
Um,
take those moments to get grounded, to do your grounding, to do your check in, to care for yourself.
yes, I
And
think,
then,
yeah, dot.
right?
I think
Mm.
anything that furthers your self sovereignty and your autonomy. And again, this isn't about villainizing anyone outside of us. It's not about cutting people off. It's not about burning the bridge. It's really just about restructuring who you are and getting like connecting with that. There's a lot of us. I mean, there's so much going on out here. There's so much to pay attention to in the world. We've got to go grocery shopping, we've got to pay our bills, we've got to go to work, all these things outside of us that I think that we've kind of just forgotten that we have our own identities and we have our own um that identity is really significant for everybody else. And when you focus on solidifying that identity, you can find other people who resonate with you. And then you slowly build a little bit of a network or a community with
Mhm.
people that are secure in who they are. And everyone has something different to bring to the table. And pretty soon, you've got like an army. And I don't mean that from a fighting sense, but just from living day to day. You get to you then everyone is self-sufficient, but they have something to contribute. If
Mhm.
we're all just little robot copy paste copies of each other, that's not very useful.
Right?
um and it's an easy way to like I don't
It's
want
knowing that
people.
that deeper side of you.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
not just getting together with friends and talking about the weather or what their new shoes they bought. It's knowing that deeper side of people. And it's hard sometimes because, like you said, we go through life. There's so much going on. And it's like, what do I really value? What's really important to me? Who am I? What makes me happy? I've actually been going through this journaling exercise about how much time I spend during the day feeling joyful
Mm,
and just being aware of that. Like a scale of 10% of the day, 20% is that might just be a place to start just brainstorming. Like, how much of the day do I spend feeling rather joyful? And this isn't to make you feel bad or wrong. If it's 2%, that's okay. But now you know, and now you're empowered to be like, maybe I'm going to explore what I might be able to do to increase that.
mm. I think that's a really good way. I think also thinking about what have you built up from zero? Like what in your life have you built from nothing? And also like reflecting on that, but then also thinking like, okay, all holds barred. Like what do I want to build from zero right now? And how can I do that? Like how can I harness this passion so I can create something that lasts, but also like where is the sustainability piece in that? How does that fit into the puzzle? Um, there's a lot of ways to think about this energy, and then also like being your own hero. I think would be just. I think everyone needs to figure out how to be their own hero a little bit, and that can look different from day to day and then week to week. Like you're the only one that knows how
Mhm.
you can save yourself. It might take a little while, but I think it's important.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Think we could talk all day, but I think we better wrap it up.
Yeah. Ah.
Thank you again, Maggie, for all of your input. Thank you for all this, your support of my business, everything you create and craft and bring to fruition. I couldn't do my work without you. Thank you to all my clients, all the listeners. Don't forget, you can always schedule a free 15-minute discovery call over on my website. If you want to talk about maybe working together this year, my intuitive home method, we're coming close to the end of the introductory pricing. So if you want to get on that, we can get you that special pricing even if you want to say move it into summer and do it. Okay. So I got you. We'll get it all figured out. But with that, I will see you back next year in 2026 for more feng shui tips, tricks, easy things you can implement into your space. And I'm wishing you all a safe, fantastic New Year celebration. Special thanks to our sponsor, Elevated Living School of Holistic Design and Feng Shui. For more information, head over to the show notes. If you enjoyed this episode, be sure to subscribe, give us a 5-star review, and share this episode with a friend. We'll see you next time.